right, welcome everybody. We're here doing a behind-the-scenes look at the Underreported. We're kind of trying something here, so stick with us. But I'm happy to be joined by, looks like 6 of our best underreported journalists. These are mostly producers, but also some folks you may be seeing on the air in the near future. Many of you know that we just went through our very first episode of the show earlier this week on Tuesday. We're just going to take this time to discuss the show, talk about our editorial process, go through some questions and comments that you all have asked. We really appreciate you all spending the time to watch the show and to hear what we have to say. And looking forward to just making this a discussion where we can all be interactive. Feel free to put your questions in the comments right there on Twitter. So with that, to begin, I'm going to start on the end here with Tyler. And just ask, why are you involved with this project? What makes you put the work into the Underreported?
Right, so I think with the whole new generation of journalists that are coming up, there's kind of some miscommunication about what it means to be a journalist and what we can do to make a difference in the world, really. And I think that at its core, and why I wanted to join the Underreported, is because it's bringing back that genuine part of journalism that maybe has disappeared over the years, or maybe has been a little bit diluted from what it used to be. And I think that being involved in a project like this is important in developing ourselves and in our careers in the future, and defining what a journalist is, or redefining and bringing back that genuine aspect of it.
Absolutely, and we're nothing on this show if we're not genuine, that's
right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Giovanna, same question to you. Why are you involved in this project?
Yeah, I agree with what Tyler said. I think that this show is a great stepping stone for all of us, whether we want to go into reporting, producing, PR. It's a great stepping stone for all of us to get out there and do what we can do to the wonderful field of journalism and do our part.
Absolutely. I just want to emphasize here also, we're at Sam Houston State University in Huntsville, Texas, and with a group of Sam Houston State students, we have our editorial meetings right here every week on Thursday nights. And now again, we're taking the time to introduce you to some of the great folks we have working on this. Now, Madison, to you, same thing. Why the passion for this project? Why be on the Underreported?
I think more than it is a platform, which it is, it's a platform to get stories out there that are so important that we feel that as millennials that people are not taking, they're not learning about because they're focused on other news stories. There's so many things out there that we know and we want to cover, and it gives us a place to cover it.
Absolutely. And some of you may recognize Madison. She was our second correspondent on the piece earlier this week, first episode. Now, Michaela, same thing. Why get involved?
Well, just like Madison said, first this is a stepping stone, great experience doing this, and then in the news today, we're not getting everything that we could. There's there's the same things over and over, it seems like, on the same news shows, but just different biases, and right now we're just getting information out that people like us wouldn't normally get.
Absolutely. Tiara?
I definitely agree with Michaela on that, because it is true, the fact that there is the same stories, just different news. And I also feel like this would be a totally great experience. You're just getting producers, you're getting correspondents, you're getting every type of learning experience throughout being on Underreported. And to me, it's just, a great way to really actually get more in detail with the news and get more excited and know, what's really going on, in depth of what life is in today's society. And that's how, I kind of feel about it. This is a great experience.
Absolutely. And then Jalissa there on the end.
I definitely agree with everybody. I think everyone said what I'm thinking, but also...
It's tough to go 6.
Yeah. So the awesome thing I can say is when Martin first came here and introduced us about the Underreported, it immediately caught my attention because as a millennial, we are on social media and we see all these news stories that people find themselves who aren't even journalists, and we're able to report that. We're able to put out a story that someone on Twitter says, hey, I want to know more about this. And it's just a great experience, a great group of journalists working together for the greater good and showing what journalism is really about and showing our own craft. And it's honestly awesome. I love it.
That's true. And that point about doing this for the greater good, I do want to emphasize that everybody here is a volunteer. Everybody who works on the show is absolutely volunteering their time. I'm going to go back to what Giovanna said here. You mentioned this is a stepping stone. Of course, that means we're still trying to do our best on every single episode. But yes, we are a group of young journalists who hopefully will go on to do even bigger and better things. But let's talk about the long term of this show. It's a little bit difficult when you look at it just one episode in. But Giovanna, you mentioned kind of looking forward to the future. What do you think? Where can we get this to go?
I definitely think that we had an amazing start this first week, and in the future, we can get this show to something really big. You always talk about how this show is something special, and I truly see it's become something special. I think the main goal is that to inform everybody in this nation of the tiny things going on in their communities that they didn't know was possible. We have the health beat, the finance beat, legal beat, all of these things that they can expand their knowledge on, and they wouldn't have known if it wasn't for us reporting on these little stories. So I think that it would broaden the knowledge of Americans.
Absolutely, and that in many ways is what this show is all about, is just kind of to broaden knowledge. Tyler, I'm going to go to you now just to introduce everybody. You're a segment producer on our infrastructure beat, and that means, I think that was our third story we had this week. We talked about Puerto Rico and kind of some of the tech companies that were coming in there, the different things they were doing. Let's talk about who actually is producing this show. I think that's one of the questions we don't really answer. So yeah, who's producing this? What's behind the Underreported?
Right. I mean, we're all students or recently graduated students, depending on who's volunteering to be a part of this. And I mean, this is really a grassroots, like starting from the bottom, but with that genuine feel to it. So, I mean, we all had an idea. Martin came to us with an idea, and we all wanted to help him produce that idea. So we have segment producers, we have operations producers, we have people fact-checking, have people looking out for stories, we have a PR team of students. All of these people that are in the Underreported are all students who have a drive and passion to be a part of this project. So, I mean, it's just a wonderful experience just to be able to get us all together and excited about one thing.
That's right. And speaking of getting us all together, since it's Thursday night, we're going to do two things every Thursday night. We always do our editorial meeting, and then we're also looking to do more of these kind of behind the scenes. And that raises a question I know was brought up from Facebook, which is kind of what our editorial process looks like. It was actually put out right as we did the promo. I guess I'll turn to Jalissa on this one. It's Thursday night. We're here in the room. Why don't you tell the folks about what the editorial process for the show?
So it's definitely great energy, positive vibes. I have to start with that because everyone's always so happy to come in here. What we basically do is we sit down, Martin kind of discusses to us our goals for the meeting and our times. We usually have a timekeeper. Last meeting, I believe it was Tiara, so it always just rotates with our timekeepers. We spend time on each video that our correspondents from around the country that are so amazing. They submit these awesome videos that segment producers work along with correspondents to find these stories, operations fact check, and make sure that this is the best it can be. And we all sit here and we talk and we give each other feedback. And it almost feels like we're in a real newsroom. I feel like I'm on NBC, honestly. And we watch these videos and we talk about how we can improve and how we can help each other grow and improve. And we kind of just pick which story stands out the most, who's improved the most. And it's awesome because we're learning from each other and we're helping each other grow. And it's a really cool editorial process, I have to say.
Just trying to find the best pieces to put in kind of the best underreported stories each and every week. And we do that right here at Sam Houston State. So, Tiara, what year are you here?
This is my junior year, actually.
You're junior year? Okay, fantastic. Been here for over 2 years. What do you think makes this program so special, this mass communication program that's able to put together a show like this on basically no budget?
Well, most foremost, for one, just you coming out here and pitching the idea to us, because a lot of times, we have news stations down here, but it's not really something in depth how, you're trying to make it out. And this would probably be the first experience I've ever had that has been actually great. Just looking down and looking at the, correspondence, giving all the news. There's some news I haven't even realized about some of the stuff. That's how underreported this is, and I'm loving it. And everything was great. My experience so far is just great. I'm operations producer, so I fact check. I make sure that everything, goes well, and we get our actual sources, and it's actual true, and it's for real. So I definitely enjoy it, and my experience here is just great.
Well, so we're having nothing but fun, but a couple people have suggested that there's this idea we might want to monetize the Underreported. We came at it a simple premise that we do no panels, no Trump, no advertisements. But Michaela, I'm going to ask you the tough one here. What do you think about this idea? We've got some people out there who seem interested in being a part of it, and they say, well, maybe we can make some money off it or something like that. What do you think?
Well, first and foremost, our goal is it's news as a public service. We're doing this to get information out to people like us and people not like us, all ages, all groups of people. And so to monetize, I feel like it takes away from that. like the goal and like the true meaning of what the underreported is and what we stand for. So yeah, it's a public service. We're doing this for the people.
Absolutely, news is a public service. And now I'm going to turn to Madison here because you were correspondent on the very first episode. What was that like? I mean, yeah, the kind of the filming process, you know, the editorial, all of that. You know, we talk about kind of doing a lot of behind the scenes today. What's it like to actually be on the air?
It's amazing. I love it. It's more than, because I produced my own segment as well, so I found the story and I was so like immersed into it, so I knew so much about it, and I just wanted to get the story out there as best as I could, considering how important I believed it was. So I thought it was great being able to not only produce the content, but see myself bring it to life. So I loved it, absolutely.
Did you get a chance to read the comments people wrote?
I did, yes.
They're pretty kind.
They
huh?
were good, yes.
Absolutely.
They were good to me.
We got a lot of really nice comments, and some which we've been able to share right here now. So anyway, that's just a basic kind of introduction to the show, what we're trying to do, you know, get you folks an opportunity to hear from the young, you know, all college age journalists right here who are behind this show. We're going to be doing this every Thursday. We'll do a live session. We'll hope to get more of your questions kind of as they're asked. Just want to make sure we got kind of a broad introduction in the very first week. We hope you'll tune in. The Underreported comes out on Facebook, on facebook.com/rathermartin at 6 p.m. Central Time every Tuesday, and we'll be doing this Twitter live session right here on this page on Thursday nights at 7:45 live. Really appreciate your time. Thanks for being a part of the Underreported. My thanks to all the young journalists here who spend so much time being a part of the show. I guess we're clapping for ourselves now. And with that, we'll see you next week. Thanks for your time.